Hello, and welcome to another episode of Philosophical Bones. I'm joined this week again by Josh,
Yo.
co-host of Rufus the Villain's True Crime Corner, and my co-host on Nerdy Bones, Keith, and also the co-host of Rufus the Villain's True Crime Corner, Rufus the Villain himself. And for this week, we're doing question 8, which is, are we living in a simulation?
That's a crazy ass question, dude. Because do you listen at all to Joe Rogan?
Are you kidding me? Yes.
Okay, so like he talks a lot about the idea that this is like a thing, that we are already in like the simulated universe, our whole experience already being a computer simulation, which is kind of fucked to think about. Because
well, even he actually asked Elon Musk in one of the episodes, which I think is at like 14 million views by now.
Because
because he smoked weed.
Yeah.
But he actually asked Elon Musk, like, are we living in a simulation? And I think Elon Musk was like, yeah, probably.
It's a scary fucking thought.
He's got a weird delivery on the way he talks.
It's a scary fucking thought, because to think already that when did the Matrix come out? Like
99.
Yeah, I think it was 99.
So here's the thing: is like maybe even before that, we've been in that scenario. It's kind of weird to think about. Like, I am personally on the school of thought that I'm still a physical being. I'm still here, and I've got my body, and like,
for all we know, that's just the way we feel.
Yeah. But I've got a lot of physical afflictions that would beg to differ. Because there would have to be a algorithm to make me feel as crappy as I do.
I don't think it'd be too hard.
Maybe it's a biological algorithm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, well, you said the Matrix is like, it was like when Neo woke up and he's just like my eyes are all blurry, like, and he's just like, that's because you've never used them before.
Right.
You know?
Oh, exactly.
Which I think kind of leads to the question, which is probably for another episode, but, like, what is reality? Like, what is your perception of reality?
Oh, I like that.
So
yeah.
I'm going to write that one down.
What's your perception of reality?
So, I mean, but that's to say, like, is it really a physical body that I'm in, or is it my perception of a body that is given to me by an exterior,
By an algorithm.
by an exterior influence,
Yeah, definitely.
That's really interesting, because like for me, like because like I'm an everyday cyclist, and like I my big thing is like my knees hurt all the time. So for that to be in the Matrix, there would have to be an algorithm for my knees to hurt.
Well, maybe, but who says your knees hurt?
Me.
What part of you?
My knees.
Well, I'll bring the Matrix again. Like when he was doing that fight scene, and he fought Morpheus, and he came out of it, and he's just like huffing, and he's like, he's like, do you really think that's air you're breathing right now?
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, good point.
Well,
Good
that's
point.
what I'm saying. So like your knees are sending a signal to your brain that's telling you that they're hurting, right? But I mean, like, what is your brain exactly interpreting, and how do you know that it's actually the signal?
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. So where my mind wants to go with this is, you and I are both, forgive me for using this loosely, you and I both are lifelong martial artists, and the way that your brain programs your body to move.
Sure, yeah.
Does that make sense? Do you get where I'm going?
I really wish, though, that I could just download it, like,
I know
on the
Kung
Matrix.
Fu.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, who wouldn't?
That would be amazing.
Like after like 10 seconds, or even like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I'd take 5 hours or 5 days to know it all.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, like one of the things you and I like, I will continue on this vein. You and I have sparred a lot together. And like I achieved a black belt in Wing Chun when I was like 11, and I'm 36 now. And when I try to recall it, it's not there. And then the big style that you do is a mantis, correct?
Yep. Northern Mantis boxing.
Northern Mantis boxing, and like we've sparred together, and we exchange knowledge. But like for me, to have what would be quote unquote a black belt in that, my brain doesn't bring it back up. Like my memory system, as far as a computer would be concerned, I can't bring it back up to be like, this is the exact thing to do.
You don't have the muscle memory.
Just plug back in and re-download the program. Right. That's all you got to do, right?
Right.
Well, they say it takes like 10,000 hours to really like get the muscle memory.
Well, and I definitely did 10,000 hours,
Yeah.
and he's definitely done 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
But like,
maybe.
Well, at that point, your body just reacts. You know.
yeah. Well, and I still have the fundamental understanding of it, but like right this second, I couldn't tell you the name of this maneuver, the name of this stance.
But do you know how to perform it?
I do.
Yeah, that's muscle memory.
But
The name of it doesn't matter as long as you know the move.
Yeah, but it's not at a teaching level.
Does that matter?
But is it your muscles that remember it, or is it the matrix that remembers it?
Yeah.
Because him and I have like stood together and exchanged techniques, and it's just kind of amazing, like the way that your body will remember something.
Yeah.
Like your body will like remember how to do something, and like because how many times you and I have like stood together and exchanged a technique, and like both of us were like, I had never done that before, and then
quite a few.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, that's like, remember the big one that I always talk to you about every fucking single time because it's my favorite and it sticks in my mind. That might have something to do with the Matrix. Is the trapping wing. Like, just in my mind, that's like what's programmed into me the most, maybe. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
So I want to ask at this point, what would be the argument against that we're living in a simulation?
I don't know if I have anything like that. Like, I still, like, for me,
maybe it's like limitations on like what we can do as a person.
Maybe, and like the big thing is like
because there's no one out there who's figured out how to like jump a building, for instance.
Right.
Jump across a building.
Well, you actually hit exactly what I was gonna say. Mm-hmm. Physical limitation.
Yeah, okay.
Physical limitation, because they're like
that could just be like a video game. That like in a video game you have those limitations. So maybe in a way like we could be living in a simulation, but we're programmed with those like limitations.
Yeah, like because like as you get older and things slowing down, like your body not being able to burn fat as fastly, or like bending down to pick up something heavy and it hurts. Like that would be my big thing. Is like it's like today, like I'm 36 as of today. And like it fucking hurts when I bend down and pick something up wrong.
Definitely.
Sure, yep. And even further on that note, limitations regarding death as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like you think about like in the past, in even like in the previous like 100 years, people of our age were considered fucking old people.
Oh, yeah.
It can like
Yeah, if you reach like 50, 60 years old, like
well any one of the three of us right now in like 1800 we'd be considered old guys.
Yeah,
we'd be old.
No, totally.
It's simply because of the limitation of the body, the limitation of
well, also there's a lot more like death or like a disease.
Well, I was going to say limitation of like understanding of medicine.
True.
You know, totally. Like, so that's a really
not putting a bunch of leeches over our body.
So and that sort of leads me to the question: if it is a simulation, who's running the simulation?
That's another. That's a scary concept.
That is a great question right there.
That's a scary concept. That means in my mind, I go to the machines.
Yeah,
I go.
I mean, the biggest one I want to go to is like God. You know.
Okay.
Or maybe an extraterrestrial force.
Yeah. Well, you brought up something cool earlier when you were talking about Men in Black 1.
Right.
Whereas like at the very end of the movie, like we're just like our universe is in a marble in like a locker, and some alien just pulls it out to play a game.
Right.
You know.
Or a universe inside.
And they're not
universe.
even necessarily trying to control our universe whatsoever. It's just we're just part of that.
Right.
Simulation.
Or it's like some some alien, like a teenage kid in his room, like playing a simulation on a machine, and like we're his simulation.
Yeah, we could just be in a big game of The Sims right now.
Bear with me here for a second, but like I've had this thing,
and that even goes into free will.
Well, I've had this thing in my mind since I was a kid. Of like, okay, so dreaming, that's a big thing that's been like, so who's to say that we're not somebody else's dream? And then when they wake up, we cease to exist.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so really, like, that's something in my mind that I've had for a long time. Like, because like I have dreams, like just last night, I had dreams that I was actually doing a BMX race. And I'm a cyclist. I'm an everyday cyclist. But like I had dreams last night that I was in a BMX race, like doing these big crazy tricks and shit like that. Who's to say that when my dream came to an end and when I woke up that wasn't a universe?
Oh, yeah.
And then me waking up made that universe come to an end.
Maybe we're dreaming about alternate realities. One question I just got in my head, or one thing I just got in my head is like the Philip K. Dick book, that Blade Runner was based off of. Do androids dream of electric sheep?
Yeah.
That's kind of, you could say the same thing about us.
Great question.
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah. Because
I get into
we kind of are those androids. Are we dreaming of electric sheep?
Yes. Like, so my big thing is, here's my question that I'm going to impose. Is the dream world another form of existence? Is that like...
in a way, yeah. And they actually say with certain drugs, we can access that world.
Like, have you ever lucid dreamed before?
No, I don't think I have.
I have.
I might have.
I have, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun. Like, I've had lucid dreams to where, like, I was, like, maybe a handful of times in my life to where, like, in the middle of it, I was like, I'm asleep. I know that I'm asleep right now.
Yeah.
And, like, I won't really get into it, but the big dream that is recurring for me to where I know I'm asleep, it's a vampire story where I'm, like, being chased. And like it's fucking scary.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is like I know that I'm asleep, and I can control things, and I can make things adapt to what I want. But the thing is there's a predator more or less coming after me, and it's the thing is I can't change that aspect.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Maybe we are all programmed like beings.
Yeah.
In a simulation, and like dreams are kind of like a byproduct of giving us consciousness.
Yeah,
in a way.
Well, consciousness is a whole nother amazing thing to talk about. Like consciousness is like, okay. So have you seen anything about downloading consciousness into a computer?
Yeah.
So is that you? Is that you?
That's a good question. That's another good philosophical question.
Yeah.
That I might do one day.
Westworld season 2 actually goes into that a little bit.
Yeah, I remember I was talking about that one time, or I think one of the last episodes I did, Philosophical Bones. I think like 2 episodes back, where we talked about like downloading our consciousness.
Well, and I don't
like Westworld. It was like, do AIs,
Well, and I don't mean to like rant on philosophical bones, but like it's like I don't mean to like derail the question.
You're not at all, no.
But like it's I have things in my mind where it's like, okay, so where I feel like we're at right now is consciousness. Is like, okay, so
in our opinion, yeah.
It's like so when you dream, is that you? When you go on the internet, is that you? If you are quote unquote
internet, no. When we dream, I think it's more subconscious expressing who we really are, or it's just subconscious feelings on our lives.
Have you ever looked into any of what they would do, like dream interpretation?
Oh yeah.
That's some really interesting shit right there. I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
No, it's fine. No, we're discussing the topic. That's what the point of the show is.
Exactly.
Like for me, like I don't want to like when I dream, I don't want it to like take control of what I think about when I'm actually awake.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't mean to like, I didn't mean to like take control of what we're talking about.
Not at all. Not at all. You got any thoughts, Josh?
Oh, well, I was just thinking, as far as, Elon Musk, did he really go into why he feels like we live in a simulation?
I don't think he really did. It's been a couple of months since I listened to the episode, but I don't really believe he did. But he's just like, yeah, I've looked into it a little bit, and yeah, it's possible.
Yeah,
we could be.
I mean, I was just curious his reasoning for it, because I've seen some science about it, and I always bring the science, but
hey, I love it. I love it.
So basically, there are some theories that real, like I said before, like real grown-up people with jobs in the scientific community believe, because apparently, like Elon Musk, that everything that we can see in the universe is just very uniform and just even, and it sort of goes back into what we were talking about on the previous episode.
Yeah.
So since how did everything get so even, and it's competing theories, but basically, the Big Bang was supposed to make everything sporadic, right? And so everything that we can see is just very nice, and evenly spread. And so why is it like that?
It's convenient.
And so,
or maybe maybe a computer program or programmer couldn't figure out how to make something random.
Exactly.
Like, maybe it's why like frog legs taste like chicken.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. You make a good point in that.
Yep. And so, I mean, but that's basically it. As far as it should be so random, right, that it's not really able to be copied by another entity. But that's just sort of the little bit that I've seen about it.
No, you make a good point. That's for sure.
Well, like, will you grant me one more tangent?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Like I was saying, like frog legs tasting like chicken. It's like maybe like, and what was that last Matrix that they were talking about? Like,
it was like you talk about like he was eating some kind of like cereal type thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh well, this tastes like such and such. Well, and like, but everything tastes like this. It's like maybe the machines just didn't know.
Couldn't figure it out.
And maybe like this tastes like this to another person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they made it uniform.
Yeah.
So they made it uniform. That that's why like maybe the machines couldn't figure out what chicken tasted like.
Exactly.
So frog legs taste like chicken.
Yeah.
Or like I'm like drawing a blank for like any other comparison, but it's like maybe the uniformity of things, because the machines were trying to unify things for the human mind, for the human brain.
They just didn't have that aspect of abstract thinking about them.
Exactly.
And they just didn't know how to create make a universe more chaotic.
Right.
Have you ever had frog legs?
No.
They taste like chicken.
Well, I've had alligator before, and it tasted like chicken.
Yeah,
Did it really?
It did.
I've had alligator too. Yeah.
It was a little dry, but yeah, it tasted like chicken.
Tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. That's a really interesting thought. Like on that side is like the variety of things out there. Like maybe the machines couldn't differentiate what the unified experience of the human being would be, so they made it one thing.
Yeah. So what's the argument for universe not being a simulation?
I think it could be. I think it could be.
Well, if you were to argue it like on the point of a universe not being a simulation, what would be the main thing you would say?
Like we said before, I think physical limitations and just the main thing along those lines.
Well, like you said, physical limitations, like not being able to jump a building, not being able to lift a car. Like stuff like that.
Well, you hear about the stories about mothers who babies get trapped in the cars and they were able to lift the car up.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
That's absolutely a thing.
Yeah.
That's absolutely a thing.
But that could just be a combination of like adrenaline and everything else.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's like actually
because you see a lot of stories about people overcoming physical limitations. You look at contortionists, for instance.
Oh yeah.
Me and you personally can't do anything like that, but the way their bodies are built, they figure out how to use them in that kind of way.
Right.
So in a way, they just become like kind of superhuman. But to us, it's like that's not normal. Like how are you able to do that?
Right.
But it's more a genetic difference between me and you.
Well, like Josh might remember, but I was really into distance running for a long time, and I actually did a 20-mile run and fucking bruised my lungs.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like literally came running back up to my front door, and I was smoking cigarettes like full time at the time. Came running up to my front door. I ran from here to 4th Avenue and back. I ran from
so that's like a good 5 miles.
It was 20 miles.
20
dude.
miles.
20 miles.
Wow.
I ran from here to 4th Avenue and back, and then came without. I hit what was called the wall, and I trained myself to be able to go past the wall. And I came back. I came running back up to my front door, and stopped, and took a few steps, and I was like, "Holy fuck! What did I just do to myself?" And I actually bruised my lungs. It was fucked.
Yeah.
Fuck. But I basically was able to push past a human limitation. But
it's more willpower, though. I've done that before too.
Yeah.
When I've just been in pain, I'm like, I need to get this. I need to get to this place. I need to get to this place. I'm like, and you just do it. You're like, it's like that form of willpower and just like wanting to push yourself further. And a lot of people do have that. They just don't ever try to tap into it.
Yeah.
Or everyone has that power, but they don't ever want to tap into it for whatever reason.
Mind over matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've done it before. I think everybody at some point in their lives does kind of do that. They just tap into that power. Like, I need to get there.
Right. Yeah. I need to get there. I like that phrase.
Yeah.
I like that
But
phrase.
maybe
Particularly in a survival type.
Oh,
setting.
definitely.
Yeah.
About the guy who cut his arm off to get out of a rock. With
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But he did it because it was he had to.
That dude lived.
Yeah.
That dude, he cut his arm off
Yeah.
with a
but if he
pocket
wouldn't
knife.
have done that, he wouldn't have survived.
Exactly.
So that's definitely one of those
So that's
points of mind over matter type thing.
That's a big speaking into living in the Matrix. So this guy's existence depended on getting out of this scenario.
Yeah.
So in his experience of reality, he had to do this.
But I think you're kind of discounting just the ability of human beings to overcome.
I agree.
In a way,
I agree.
You're saying this couldn't happen unless.
Well, I was just trying to keep it in the Matrix.
I know, but you're kind of saying though this couldn't happen unless we were living in this certain reality.
Yeah.
And I think that just discounts the ability of humans to really overcome challenges.
Humans have done some amazing shit.
Yeah.
Some amazing shit.
You look at people who swim the English Channel or something, or hold their breath for 8 minutes or something.
What pops into my mind is a Pantheon, the guy that ran the marathon. He ran 47 miles.
Yeah.
He ran 47 miles and then dropped dead.
Yeah.
And, so the humans can do some amazing stuff.
Really can. But is that more are you discounting that to just us living in a simulation? Or
I'm trying to just keep the conversation going.
I just got to bring it back.
Yeah, well, it's the thing with Pantheon, that's that was an amazing human feat. And the big thing is that on the side of what you were saying, on the side of what you were saying, it was. That was a huge feat in human perseverance. He ran that distance, and they named the marathon because of the run that he ran. They call it the marathon. And
I'm going to ask a question, is it more a product of us living in a simulation or us living in a real world? Or, or is it just where do I go with this? Just us being so capable of achieving something so incredible that we just have to credit it to something else.
I would have to get on with that, which you were saying, because there's been so many instances of humans just surpassing
that we just need an extraordinary explanation.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. That's I'm gonna have to go with that. From what you were saying,
I think we should give humans their due. I would probably, I don't discount it completely. I think it's possible, but I would need some more proof that we live in a simulation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So and that's where I always go back to with everything I talk about is I want to believe,
right? Yeah.
But give me some proof,
right. There's like I said, I kind of always go back to science, just because it's something tangible, so to speak,
exactly.
That we have evidence for.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are a lot of good theories, and they have some good evidence, you know, but I need a little more personally. So
no, I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. So yeah, in the end, just a little one word. Are we living in a simulation?
I don't think
you can
so.
say yes, no, or maybe.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. Like the physical experience I've had in my life, just like the physical things that I've physically, I don't think it's a computer algorithm. I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe, but probably not.
Okay. I'm just gonna go with maybe, because I mean, I don't know if these are just I'm being controlled by actions based on an algorithm, or if I'm just, you know, having my own free will. And there's a lot of things that go into it. So I mean, I don't know the science behind this. None of us know the real science behind this whole thing.
We're not physicists.
I would love to talk to someone who really knows this subject really well, but we just don't have that option in front of us.
I'm pretty sure there's a Star Talk episode where they do questions on simulations and things like that.
Yeah.
So if you're into that kind of thing, I recommend it. Yeah,
I should look into that.
I want to say thanks again for being another guest on Philosophical Bones.
Oh, of course. I loved having both of you. You definitely both brought like a really good insight into the question.
Yeah.
You know, and it's cool. I'm sure for both of you, like you just get on one thing, and that's like,
yeah,
because we're so used to just talking about a ton of stuff, but that one topic, and this one especially, it was very kind of informative for I think for all of us.
Definitely.
Definitely.
So so this was Philosophical Bones question number 8.
Keep thinking.
Yeah, and my guests this week were Keith and Josh, both from Rufus Villain's True Crime Corner, and Josh and Keith, my co-host on Nerdy Bones. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to pose a question, or if you'd like to be on Philosophical Bones, please email us at nerdybonescast@gmail.com, or hit us up on Instagram or Facebook, because I really would love to have some people on to debate a question.
The big thing is with Philosophical Bones, we can take phone calls.
Yes,
we can take.
So I would, if you want to come on, just hit us up.
Yeah, and
more than likely 99%, I'll have you on.
Yeah,
you know, it'll be a lot of fun for me because I get to talk to someone I just don't know. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and keep thinking.